Mate, what is with all these NRL fantasy podcasts? They all sound the fucking same. Welcome to the echo chamber.
Back after a week off with Scoop in the NRL Fantasy Echo Chamber. How are you going, Eddie? You feeling ready to crack into these games and trials?
Oh, mate, how fucking good. We've had a couple of the preseason TLTs, which have just been nice to tie us over, but it's not like fucking having a hit of the real thing, eh? It's like the difference between methadone and heroin, and finally we got our fucking dose of heroin. Fucking good, mate.
What do you got in your veins, Rudely? You pumping and ready to go?
Unfortunately, man, I must not be on the heroin quite yet, but fuck me, this season's looking good. I can't believe we've got a Sharks and Panthers game to start the season in Vegas. That's going to be an absolutely killer game.
Yeah,
absolutely. I hope they both step up for that one.
I hope it lives up to expectations.
Yeah, well, Vegas was amazing last year. They really got up for it, and you got two top four teams that get up for it, that would be an absolute cracking way to begin the season.
I think you are being generous saying that Sharks will get up for it. I haven't seen them get up for a proper game in a long time, but
we'll hope they can give the Panthers a shake at least.
I actually like you fucking hate Vegas. Like it's so annoying, man.
For fantasy and for footy.
For
for fantasy especially, but also it's not really footy until it's the next week. It's like really cool, but it's almost just like another thing to wait for.
It's not even that cool. Split TLT sucks, and I don't think Americans are ever going to give a shit about the league. I'm pretty sure everyone at the games is just fucking expat Kiwis and Aussies.
Yeah, it's like when the Indians come to the cricket and it's like, wow, record crowds. Who would have guessed? And it's like, yeah, that's because 2/3 of the Boxing Day crowd is Indian.
Fuck yeah. Imagine if it's anything like New Zealand, there is Indians all over the show in Australia.
Yeah, good turnout this summer. But anyway, we're here to talk footy. We might as well crack into preseason games, which is the last inkling of actual footy we'll get before this whole thing kicks off. The first match that we actually had was Manly losing to the C Team Panthers. Rudely, did you get anything out of this game? Are Manly cooked, or what's happening?
It wasn't the best performance by Manly, but then again, they have a tendency to put up stinkers every now and then. But I wouldn't give too much credit to the fact there was a lot of people main players missing from the Manly team as well, and I think it really goes more to a credit about how good the Panthers juniors that are coming through are compared to how bad Manly will be this season.
Yeah, I knew 4 names in that team list that got 38 points, and far out they got some good depth. Eddie, did you? What do you reckon of this game?
I didn't watch it. I think Manly will come good though. I don't think they're going to be among the top or the bottom. They'll be in and around the fucking pack.
Yeah, I mean, people panicking their heads off about Garrick. I'm like, no, it's not really the game for him. He hasn't got half, he hasn't got anybody. If you want to pick Garrick, you just pick Garrick and then you just leave it with that. A loss in preseason isn't going to change anything.
For a guy like Garrick, this is just a fucking run around. He's got no worries about proving himself or starting like in these trial matches. For someone like him, it's just getting a bit of oxygen in the fucking lungs, a bit of a blowout, and just so that the first time he runs out onto a footy field isn't in an NRL match.
Eddie, have you still got Garrick in your team at the moment, or?
Yeah, he's never fucking left, mate.
I've recently pulled him out just because we've got such a stupid amount of cheap cashies at the moment in centre and a couple flooding into wing fullback. And I think that the value at the Titans wing fullbacks is quite substantial. And I think I'd just rather Brimo than a Garrick every day of the week.
I've got both.
I think that's
I've got both. And Garrick, I'm happy to use as a keeper centre if he can survive the season, like any player. But it's not just that. He plays in all the major buys, which is going to be so handy. DPP, basically a gun, playing all the buys. If he's healthy through that period, he's going to be fucking gold.
Yeah, there's the what is it? It's Roosters, Dogs, and Manly that've got those three. There's a few players popping up, like Preston. A lot of people are rushing to put Preston in their team after the
Yeah,
preseason, and also
I got
it
him too.
helps with that. Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, that's really all there is for the Manly game. Tigers beat Eels 30-18. Poor old Brett Naden exploded his knee, and Justin Olam didn't get around, and it looks like his knee's kind of no good. So does that lock Stafford Toa in?
Yeah, it does.
I think he'll be in everyone's team. Anyone who has any common sense in this game will have Stafford Toe in. I think it's just going to be really a balance of trying to fit all these cashy centers in without having too many of them, because you don't want your emergencies filled with these shit cashy centers who are going to score about 30, still have 10 points of value, but you're having to play them in your interchange when another player gets injured or something.
To be fair, our emergencies are only half full of centres. The other half is halves.
Mate, we're gonna have like
Just halves and centres.
we're gonna have like 8 of them. It's so crazy. I was talking to some people the other day and like, yeah, you can start with 7 250k guys. I'm like, well, yeah, you can, but I'm almost keen on taking like 5 and then just pivoting to the ones that actually work in round 2. So it's hard because Guns and Cows look really promising this year, and I'll talk a bit more about that after we get through all this team stuff. But I think team values are going to be really high this year. Maybe we see return to 2023.
Yeah, it seems like it is a bit of old school this year where the guns and cashies approach is going to work. Just make sure we just got to make sure that we don't get overboard, and you just got to get the good cashies and then stop. Don't get the good cashies and then get shit cashies on top because you wanted more cheap guys. We just got to keep in mind there's a difference between guys that are cheap and guys that are actually cashies.
Yeah. In that bucket, where does Kelma-Tuilagi now sit for you? Because, 7 missed tackles on the weekend isn't one you want to see. I don't think that's going to be repeatable with a full Eels team and Moses, but it didn't make me very happy.
It's a tough one because we're on one hand, like we don't want to read too much into trials, and that's true. I mean, to be fair, he played good in the first trial. So, but the thing that sort of I was watching this one, and the thing that fucking struck me is like watching him play like that is fuck. I've seen this Kelma before. Like this isn't fucking. I've seen this fucking useless cunt. Like and to be honest, a lot of his career outside of like a 6-game period last year has been a bit like this. So like to get like he doesn't walk into 40s. I'm like he might get 40s, but just be aware that to get low 40s, like that's Kalmar on good form, and Kalmar on not good form is significantly less than that. So we just temper expectations. But I think he's a good punt. He's not in my team at the moment. He might have fucking 10 points of value, but he also could easily have less. And he will be an annoying one as well to play on your interchange as well, because he's going to have sub 30 games. Like he's that kind of guy, and that can be annoying at times from your second rowers. Think fucking what it was like in Piokura last year. Although I suppose you can't sort of sold him.
Don't jinx him like that. Don't do that.
At least Piokura was cheaper.
Oh, barely 20k.
About the same. Yeah.
Hey, that 20k is going to make a difference at these kind of players. Like, fuck me.
It's yeah. Well, they priced some other guys up, like Tom Starling. It's a bit annoying. But yeah. Do we still take Jack Bird on the interchange? He still got a few minutes, did all right. But I guess that the ceiling's not that. The ceiling's maybe not 45 plus points.
I've still got him. For starters, we don't know that he's going to be on the fucking interchange. And he did just play 60 minutes off the interchange. So I'm not saying he's going to get 60 minutes. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm probably just going to continue to take the punt on him. I think he's going to play about 50 minutes, whether he starts or fucking comes off the bench.
Rudely, are you laughing in the background because you're just thinking about Beluga and his Moale 60 minutes?
Oh man, if I hear one more person say he played 60 minutes in the trial game, he's therefore the best buy of the season, I'm actually going to put my head through a fucking wall. I don't mind Bird. I think Bird could come good. I'm just very much colder on him now that he's on the bench. I don't. We won't really know his role properly until round 1 starts. And at that
Yeah, but
point,
I'm gambling.
oh man, I love a punt as much as the next guy, but we have that many cashy centers. I don't see the need to run that gauntlet. And it's not like it's a hard fucking pivot if he is getting 50, 60 minutes off the bench. He's like what 350k.
His DPP is also very handy for
Yeah,
me because
I
I
do
don't
agree with
have a
that.
lot of forwards on. I don't have a lot of forwards on my bench.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the edge duel is quite useful. I think edge is a really weird position this year because it feels like there's a lot of value, but some of them really feel really sketchy, like Kelmer, for example. So I do appreciate the Birds having that edge duel. But I think at the moment, for me at least, Bird's going to be a wait and see. Unless he's named in the
Yeah.
starting team, on the starting 13, then you instantly buy him and lock him in your team.
He's a gut feel. I mean, I'm of the opinion that rather than worrying about all the what ifs, just sit there, think for a while, decide what you think will happen, and then just fucking follow that and try and ignore fucking all the alternate scenarios in your head. And I think he will get 50 minutes even if he's off the bench, but that's just me. If you think he's going to get fucking 35, then yeah, obviously you shouldn't do it.
Yeah. I haven't got Bird currently, but the team balance that I'm currently pushing around could really probably use a Bird.
Yeah, man.
All right. So next game, Dragons versus Rabbitohs. This bloke comes out of nowhere, scores 4 tries, and then goes off with a head knock. If he's there in proper TLT, where does he rank on your wing fullback cheapies? Is he anywhere in the picture?
He's
Um,
nowhere.
I don't even I can't remember what his name was now.
Sione
I
Finau.
know.
Was he supposed to be starting?
You'd imagine so after that performance.
Was he projected to be starting before that performance? I can't.
I don't know who
He,
else they
he
would have on edge.
was sort of in and about there. There was like 3 guys who were probably all fighting for that, as in Tuipulotu, that rugby guy Nathan Lawson, I think, and him. But I can't see if Tuipulotu is actually playing, so maybe he won't. But yeah,
Tuipulotu sucks as well. I don't know. Is he 250k? How much is he?
yeah, he's pretty much basement.
Oh, he's-
Sione. Oh no, actually
Well,
no, he's
No.
350. Screw
Yeah.
that.
oh, okay, no.
No,
Okay,
no.
then it's a hard no.
And let's not get too excited. Like Dragons played really well on the weekend, and I think people are hating on the Dragons more than they are. But Dragons are not going to be a good team, and their wings are not going to benefit that significantly.
What do you mean?
There's three.
Gutho's going to average 50. He's going to do everything, right?
So yeah, no, we'll say hard pass on him.
Yeah. Is Munro dead as an option too? There's a couple
Yep.
of wing
Yes.
fullbacks going down.
Yep.
Like no Latrell, no Murray, Rabbits in the bin.
Yeah.
Pretty much move on
If you
from
want
that.
if you want winger fullbacks in that price range, or centres, you get Tamale or Nawa. Fuck him, bro. He's going to be he's on the wing in a shitty team, which is usually disastrous. He's not the sort of like do millions of hit ups and get lots of tackle busts sort of dude either. He's more of a finishy sort of winger. So without tries, he's going to suck.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
going to get some multiple single digit scores. I'm fucking sure of it.
Yeah, it does feel like that. He's just a like for like AJ fall over the try line, get a bunch, but if they aren't scoring a bunch, well then he won't get anything. Rightio. Excellent. Then we had Broncos versus Doggies. Preston had a day out. What did you make of the first look at Hunt and Reynolds in the halves?
Broncos look like a top 4 team. I think there's no real doubt about that they're going to be in there about with that. The spine they have is just nuts. Like once Mam comes back, as much as I hate the fucker, you put Hunt the 9, you've got an absolutely cracking spine, and they're going to be in the competition for the premiership as long as these young ones don't get too riled up about the difficult mannerisms that Madge is going to want to instill upon them.
Yeah, I reckon top 4 as well. If they fucking get upset about that, that just means they're fucking little bitches, and that people were right about that there was a culture issue in the not Warriors, fucking in the Broncos amongst younger players. So, I wonder if that's what's happening with Piakura at the moment.
Yeah, he's just gone. Like, what? He's just on the outer. Now we've got Goz, the return of Gajetski.
Mate.
Yeah,
Gozzi's going to go
I
big
wonder
this
if if Madge just thinks he's a bitch or something. That might be it, for real.
I mean, it could be. Well, actually, who they got out compared to what we thought? And they've got Shibasaki in centre. Well, Staggs hurt himself, but Shibasaki has been looking like centre. We've got Gajewski there. We've got Kobe Hetherington starting. Those are not what we were probably thinking earlier in preseason, but they're sort of hard-edge guys who can come in and do something even if they're not the flashiest. So I guess that's what they're going for.
Sort of.
Which Shibasaki is it that plays it?
It's the one that used to be at the Knights, I'm pretty sure.
Is it Jamal or Jermat? Because
Jermat
got it out there.
Yeah, he's whatever. Fucking, there's a reason he's fucking not at the Knights anymore. And Gozzi sucks. Gozzi's going to end up out of the team. I don't think Gozzi will play 80 either, because they've got Kerrigan, they've got Haas, and then on the bench they're going to have Willison and Jensen, who also like they broke out too much to have small minutes. So I think Kerrigan's going to spend time at 13, and what's that 13's name?
Kobe Hetherington. He won't play big minutes. He'll play 40.
Yeah. Oh no, I think he'll slide into second row for about 20 minutes.
Kobe Hetherington, the second row.
For about 20 minutes.
I don't know. I think if there's not a Hunt,
You've got to understand that Gozzi's the worst member of that 17. He's not going to be getting 80 minutes. That's the fact. There's no one in the 17 that is a worse player than him.
Hey, I don't know. I'm willing to run the gauntlet here. I think if there's not if Hunt or the Hunt that actually plays second row, or Piakura is not named on that bench, I do think Gozzi is a go and a buy that you just slot deep in your emergencies and never play. And he'll just slowly tick along and make the money. It will be a slow burn. It'll be a difficult burn, but I think he'll make the money.
Oh, people have thought that before and it never worked out. The thing of Gozzi is he'll look like he's got a fucking job for 1 week, and then fucking 2 weeks later he's playing 20 minutes off the bench, and then he's not playing at all. Like that's what happens with Gozzi. It's just what he is. It's what he's always been.
If there was any other second rower that didn't look like he was going to have a bench edge that was priced basements, you'd think, wow, this dude's got 15 plus points of value, but it's Jeffsky. He averages like 35 in 70 plus minute games, and like he probably has to get that 15 points. And like, I mean, yeah, he'll make money, but for how long and how much? Like he could, but I just don't want to. I just don't want to.
Because he's got the kicker there is that the player that's behind him in the pecking order right now is better than him. And that's gonna sooner or later that's gonna fucking come to head. And Gozzi will be gone.
Okay. Just for reference with Gozzi, if he plays over 50 minutes and plays under 70 minutes, he averages 60 minutes and averages about 30.4, which is 10 points of value. Just for reference.
Yes, you get that for a couple of weeks, and then you get fucking tens and then zeros.
I think he'll make his money, but anyway, it's nice. Each to their own.
There's better cheapies.
I didn't even realize that when you open Jack Kajewski's page on Footy Stats, it just says, "Have you considered therapy?" That's a crack up. That's a crack up. Oh, I love that. If you haven't checked it out, go and look at that Jack Kajewski page on it. That is classic.
And if any of our listeners want to reach out with any recommendations on good therapists for Rudely, that'd be brilliant.
Mate, I'm gonna be the last man laughing when Gozzi makes 15 points of value and I sell him to upgrade.
No, you're not. We're going to be laughing at you.
Yeah.
Let me have my delusion.
And don't fucking come back saying you're unlucky that he got dropped or anything either, cunt.
Nah, mate, that one will be all on me if he fucks up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking notes it will be.
Somebody who's actually better than Jack Kajewski, also playing second round that game, Jacob Preston. You've got him in your team, Eddie. Now,
Boy.
have you had a stab at him as well, Rudely?
I've given thought to him. I don't think he's a bad buy. I think if you want just a safe cut price creeper who has 3 to 4 points of value, I think he's fine. Do I think
Just called him a creeper. Come on, man. He's not Dylan Brown.
I meant keeper. I think he's fine. There's some people out there who think he's going to average like 58 to 59.
Do you mean Beluga when you say some people?
I would never name names, but he's just not going to become one of the best fantasy scorers just off the bat off last season. Like he's a good player. He's got some value here. I just don't think we need to make him something there's not. If you want to shore up one of your positions to an edge, pay a bit of a premium, Preston's good to go. Would I buy Preston over someone like Lucas who can later switch to centre? Probably not.
I got
I
both.
can understand the argument for Preston. Yeah, I think it's a bit overkill, but
Yeah, I think it's a lot too, but I mean, this year's starting to get more and more and more like last, where it's like, oh, how many amazing edges have we got? Oh, the answer is none in that 400k bracket. So
I just don't trust any of them.
yeah,
I'm currently sitting on White. I think I'm in the minority again on this take.
I
But
definitely don't trust him. I mean, he could come good, but I definitely don't trust him.
Lenyu's gone for 2 weeks, if not 3. What if he
I thought
gets
it
to
was two.
starting? Either way, my point is that he'll start, play some decent mins, get his his BE down, and get his money rolling, and then he'll coast off that lowered PPM to get to the 100k. I think it's a short-term play, and like I still think that there's a good chance that even on the bench he gets a decent enough role to make the money.
I don't know if he'll get enough points in 2 games to really get the break even rolling that much. I don't think he's going to. It's not like he's going to come out with massive ones.
No, I agree with that. I think it's another bonus when I thought White had the potential to have that value just off the bench. I think now giving him 2 weeks of starting on top of that makes him a better buy than he was prior to this weekend.
He's not the worst. I wouldn't talk anyone out of him, I guess, but I'm not excited by him. I'll leave him alone.
yeah. All of the Finifuriaki White Tuilagi 400k type bracket guys they just slowly seem worse and worse for me, and I only want one of them maximum. And I got to pick. I'm definitely not taking any more than one.
Looping back to Preston, I'm massive on him. So I've got him, and as I mentioned, Lucas as well. Beluga's 88, 89. I'm sorry, not 88, 89. 58, 59. I think it's a tad high, but I've still got him at sort of that 58 to 55 to 57 sort of areas, and for a gun, like having 4 or 5 points of value for an elite gun I think he'll be an elite gun, obviously, is actually like a decent amount. Like if everyone looks at their teams and looks at your guns, like they're probably not more than fucking 4 or so points undervalued, either. And he is a gun that plays all of the fucking major buys, and that's so fucking handy. Because remember, it's not all about fucking when you think value, everyone just thinks, oh, how many points value. But see, with him, it's not just about the dollar rises. That period over Origin, he's going to help you to have a full team, and if that's going to get you more overall points. And at the end of the day, fantasy is won on overall points, not just who's got the fucking highest team value. So that's a form of value in itself. It's fucking valuable.
No, I'm with you. I think Preston's not a bad buy.
And I think he'll play pretty much close to 80 minutes. I think he'll be averaging like 75 minutes or some shit.
Yeah,
He's going to be the man.
Yeah, he's got a huge motor. He's got a great work rate. If he played 80 all the time, he'd be a 60 guy. But yeah, I want to see what it looks like in the Dogs team, because I do think he's going to be more a 70 guy. But yeah, I mean, I'm not shying away from him. I think he's a pretty solid pick. and loads of people are jumping on. What's he up to now? He's at like 2% the other day, and he's probably like at
7%
8.
now.
Yeah, wow. Oh well.
I can,
Anyone else from the Dogs really? I mean,
nah,
Burton was seen in a sling, I think, but until we get more on that,
too many halves.
nothing's happening.
Too many
wanna
halves.
say-
No one
Too
cares
many
about
halves.
halves like him.
Yeah.
I do want to say one thing about the Dogs. In the second half, Blake Taff came on with a beautiful new hairdo. He looks
Fuck
the
up.
good. Okay.
Blake Taff the goat, we will remember. BMM 23, Taff 24. All right, we got the Finns versus the Titans, and what we got from this is that AJ Brimson and Jaden Campbell look pretty nice together in the halves, and Foran playing in the middle hurt himself. I think he's out for 3 months was the latest word with that bicep, and looks a fair bit safer now.
Looks real safe. I think they're both buys. I wouldn't necessarily buy both of them. You could do like a crazy loop thing where you get Tamale and some other cunt and see what they score, and if they both happen to score good, then you can get them both. But it's not as likely. I definitely think it's a good idea to get at least one of them. JC, I think, is a very good chance of being the top winger fullback this year. And unlike other winger fullbacks, his price won't like drop down low at some point. Like Ponga, like he might average like fucking 57 over the course of the season or whatever, but at one point, and it'll probably be early on, he'll drop down to like 650k at some point because he does it every year, like all winger fullbacks do. And JC's going to be immune to that, I think. So he's a good option.
Yeah. Well, I'm just waiting for Drinkwater in like about round 7 or 8, I think it is, after their buy. They have a
Yeah.
horrendous first 6 weeks. He's going to be like 550k to just buy him. It's just easy as
Yeah,
that.
that'll be the third year in a row I've done that with Drinkwater.
Yeah.
I always do it with Garrick as well, except this time Garrick starts cheap. So
Yeah.
just kidding him.
He's like Tom Starling of the wing fullbacks. He just pops up every year.
Yep. He always starts slow. I also really like the other one, number 6, Brimson. He's in my team. He looks fucking mean. And when Brimson's on good form like that, he really does carve up with the ball. His stats in the halves are really solid. It's like mid, almost pushing to high 40s, and that's with low kick meters. His running game's great. He busts tackles. He makes a good amount of tackles. And I noticed in the trial that the kicking wasn't as heavily favoured towards Campbell as people were expecting. He did almost as much fucking kicking as Campbell. Like it seems like a 60-40 split. So
Yeah.
I think Brimson out of the two is the one with the most value. I can easily see him fucking going sort of 43 to 47 sort of mark. He's in my team.
Yeah, I like Brimson a lot. He actually ended up with a little bit more than Campbell, but part of that might be because his short kicking was used a fair bit that game. But either way, I really love that split for him. And yeah, he's sitting as a looper in my wing fullbacks currently. Cool. Good. Fantastic. Any interest of what's going on that Dolphins side? Gilbert kind of did 30 minutes and then just didn't come back on.
It's just a head out for him.
Yep.
He's an all right pick. He's not very exciting, I don't think. Like his career best form sort of saw him averaging, was it like 47 from like fucking 65 minutes or some shit. I don't think he'll be getting as many minutes as that early on. So unless he comes out and starts PBing things straight away off the back after like a year and a half layoff or whatever the fuck it's been, like you're not going to be missing out on too much, I don't think. And if he's like ends up just being like 7 points of value and then goes off to Origin, at which point you just trade him out, like I don't know, that's not that big of a win, is it?
Yeah, I mean, he's all right, but I just like other people more at the moment.
Yeah.
One thing that vaguely interested me was the fact that Plath was named at edge and Lemu bench. I don't know if that's what they're actually going to go with. They're probably experimenting. Finifuyaki, though, does that 45 move the needle for you at all? Is that basically exactly expectations if he gets the minutes, and if he doesn't, he'll score 35 in 60 minutes?
No, I don't think you'll be getting averaging 45. 45 is a pretty big score for that guy.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he's going to get 80, but I think that's
No,
probably
neither.
what we were reckoning would happen, that scoring rate. And I'd say that expectations will be in that sort of mid-high 30s with 60, 65 minutes.
I was more thinking if he got 80 minutes, it'd be like 40.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like you. I don't think he's going to be always getting 80. So I think he might be like a 36 sort of player. And I'm not interested in him. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think Benakuraki is in the exact same category as Kelmer. They just if you squint hard enough, maybe they can get to about 10 points, but like you're really just buying a plotter at a
I think
decent
he's.
price as well.
Yeah, I think he's even worse than Kalmer because at least with Kalmer, I'm pretty confident that he's got a big minute role. I think Kalmer's far more likely to play 80 than Fui is.
Yeah.
I think you're bang on the money there.
Yep. All right. And then we had a bit of a look at the new Roosters versus the Knights, who touched them up, actually. I'm really, if I wasn't so keen on Brimson already, man, it's tempting to grab all of those left side Knights guys now. How many do you have in your team, Eddie, at the moment?
Is Lucas left side?
Yeah.
One.
There you go.
Although I do quite like Marzel, but I don't have him.
Yeah, he's probably third for me on that list of those cut price wing fullbacks or mid range options like him and Brimson and Garrick. He's probably third for me, so just misses out. But man, he's nice to watch.
Yeah, and I think he will do well. I certainly wouldn't talk anyone out of buying him. I think he's a very legit option, and I might regret not getting him.
Yeah. By Pierce Paul, he played all right. I think Lucas just shone a bit more. Lucas gets more attack than him, but I do think Kai Pierce-Paul will get more this year. But he is another one of those guys that a little bit of uncertainty at edge. And I just don't want to play that game this year.
Yeah, Lucas is the better one. KPP doesn't have the centre deep P, which is a massive difference maker. But also, like when you watch him play, like Lucas is everywhere, into everything, and KPP not to the same amount.
KPP is also priced at 44. Like if you're buying him, you're expecting him to get to pretty much a keeper level score, which I don't think anyone's really predicting KPP to become a keeper this year.
Well, I think when he played like 80, I think he only averaged 47. So you'd be really relying on him playing 80 all the time and increasing his PPM as well, which he could do. But I definitely think Lucas is the way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, his first half of
He's
the year
not
was a
that
lot
much
better than the
more.
second half. But yeah, he'd have to maintain that for a full year to get to 50, 51. And yeah, I'll just go elsewhere.
Plus, KPP is the exact same price as Bateman, and I'm sure we're about to discuss him shortly. But some people are still quite high on Bateman. I think Bateman would definitely be a better choice than KPP in every way.
Nice.
Yeah.
I suppose you have to talk about this Roosters logjam now. What's actually going to happen now? Because Lenny's suspended for 2 weeks. Wong was at lock, but not for heaps. Nat Butcher did a lot of work, and White bench. So, are we going to see? What are we actually projecting for White now? Because I'm lost.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's just gonna be as simple as just projecting fucking him to have a same role every week. I don't think it's going to be. It wasn't like that at the Roosters last year, and I don't think it will be this year. I think White will do pretty well in the first couple of weeks. I think he'll probably get about 45 minutes. But then after that, like, does Spencer come off the bench? Does White go back to the bench? Fucking how many minutes is old mate going to play at lock? Him and Radley going to switch between 12 and 13 across attack and defence? Fucking. I can't make much sense of it. All I know is Angus will be getting 80 and everyone else will probably be all over the show. And I don't really want any part of it.
I think that's fair. I think people are looking at two forwards for the Roosters at the moment. They're looking at White and they're looking at Wong. I can guarantee for good fucking
That's
money
classic.
that White is going to be much better than fucking Wong. I'm certain Wong will be another trap like he was last year. With White, with Lenu out, you at least know he's going to have a good couple games of a good couple scores. With that PPM, if he plays about 45 minutes like you just projected, he will get about 43 to 42, which is about 12 to 13 points above what he's priced at, which will get his price rolling in the right direction. Coming off the bench, I'm with you. I don't think his minutes will be consistent from game to game, as was shown with whatever the fuck Trent Robinson was doing last year with his middle forwards. Saying that, given some of the injuries that are going on at that team, and given that White really is one of their better up-and-coming forwards,
What
I don't.
injuries?
They've got Egan Butcher out. They've got actually just Egan Butcher.
I
out, isn't
forgot
it?
he existed.
He's got his knee done.
No, they got plenty. Most of their forwards are all there, bro. They're all good.
Right.
All the ones are just the retirement losses, pretty much, or the Terrell May. I still don't understand that, but I mean, it's happened now.
Well, even Terrell May didn't get a fucking consistent role last year, and look how good he was.
I do think, especially with those two games, that White is a decent option. Would I be telling everyone to go buy him? No. I think if you are like me and think I need a cheaper edge, and I like White a lot more than the other options, I think there is value here. I don't think White is going to lose you money.
His
I think
DPP is nice.
Yeah, his DPP is nice. He's got a really good PPM of 0.97. Like, it just needs some minutes.
Does he? I thought it was more closer to like 0.9 flat.
I got 0.97.
What filters did you use?
None. So that was I just went for his overall.
If you go over 30 minutes, it's 0.94 and 36 last year at whatever role he was in.
Okay. Well,
yeah, it's not too bad.
I've just gone over
that's
30
fair
minutes
enough,
to 0.98. So if you are limiting it down to last year, if you're limiting it down to over 30 minutes in 2024, it was a 1.01 ppm.
Fuck, I didn't realize White's PPM was that high.
No, he's an absolute monster. I really think with those two games that he'll get when Lenu's out, he'll really get he's not going to get his break even down to 0, but he's going to get low and start getting money moving. I think White is a really good short-term play for the first 5 weeks or so. I think he'll make his money and then you can just flick him off the second he hits 100k value and move on to someone else you need to buy. That's my mindset anyway.
Yeah, all right. I could do that, but yeah, not for me. I can see it though. All right.
Rooster centers.
I want to know what's happening with Billy Smith. I think we all want
So
to know
do
what's
I.
happening with Billy Smith. Is Nwanga Needle Aze going to play? He's on big money, but is he actually there? Toya's sort of feels like he's got the spot better locked down, but I mean, I don't know anymore.
I want to eat my words because the last week's pod I came out and said Nawa looked like dog shit defending. Toya will have is more likely to have the spot in my mind. And then this week
Toya
we did the exact same fucking opposites. Toya looked fucking awful. Nawa looked actually pretty good. So fuck knows what's going to happen. I've currently got neither in my team. I think Nawa's more likely to come in because of the DPP. But
he's got some fucking serious attacking talent, old Nawa, as well. He's got a fucking mean little offload. I think he's going to be pretty dangerous on attack, eh?
He looked good, but Toya's got some great tackle busting ability.
Why does Billy Smith have to get a spot? Fucking, he's hardly got much more first grade experience than them. Fucking, he's been in squads for years, but he hasn't fucking played much footy.
Mate, he's got 5 minutes here or there where he's come on then been escorted off after an injury. I don't know, man. I think they rate Billy Smith. Do I know if he comes straight in anymore? I don't.
Well, they probably fucking rate all three of them, to be honest, bro.
They are, but if we go by your stance of one of them's getting paid a lot more than the other, so he's more likely to play. Billy Smith is probably on more money than Toya.
So, Toys. But they didn't just sign Billy though. Like he's been around for a while. Billy Smith won't be on that much either though.
No, he's not going to be on big money. But the other thing is, their first 2 games are Broncos and Penrith.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
Their center's going
It's
to
not
get torn
ideal.
to shit. One of them will lose their spot for not playing well enough in those first 2 games. Like, if you want to put money on a fucking 30 plus on versus going 30 down in the next 2 games, you'll make money. They're going to have an abysmal for and against after in round 3.
Bruce is for the spoon.
I probably will get Nawa, but I don't think I would get him if he didn't have winger fullback eligibility, because that's where it's
it.
more useful to me.
Especially now that
If
we've
he was
lost
just a
swing.
specialist centre, I'd say, no, fuck it, we'll just roll with the 250k centres. But I do need to have like backup for my winger fullback, and Jesse McLean's gone now, so like there's not that many affordable winger fullbacks to have behind him.
Well, I think
Just
you're going to hate this.
Really.
I think Nawa is going to come into my team, and I think you're going to hate this solely because I'm currently running Brimo and Jay-Z.
Oh, that's all right. As I said, fucking. Well, are you playing? So is Tamale the other part of that, Luke?
Yeah, so Tamale and Marky Mark would be my loop. And of course, if one of them really shut the bed, I'd have Brimo first, because I think Brimo's a better buy than JC.
Yeah.
And if one of them really shut the bed, I'd drop JC and figure something out.
Well, what you can do is let's just see what Tamale does. Chuck Tamale an 18th man or whatever. If Tamale gets a good score right off the bat, then it's going to make it pretty easy to do that.
Yeah,
And then
I think you'd make the points back as well, because JC will have a more consistent floor, whereas some people that have are running other wing fullbacks will have have a lower score here and there. So I think you'd make back the points. I don't think it's the worst idea, but it feels sketchy running one proper wing fullback in round 1.
It could be a good idea as long as Tamale gets a good score for you. Because if Tamale shits the bed, then that plan's off the table basically, unless you want to take a shit score. But if Tamale goes good, that makes that plan quite viable.
Of course. Of course, it has to be more. Now they're talking about Nawa potentially coming off late because of calf injury. I'm just going to wait for more on that because it's a wash.
I saw into that. That's just purely because when he came off, they put some ice on his calf. Like, that's pretty common
that's
thing
just
to do.
That's just preseason. That's
He
just
hasn't
journalism.
Yeah, I haven't seen any reports saying that he's been sent off for any scans or anything like that. Just the fucking we saw some ice on his calf. Like that could be fucking any cunt. Like,
but just in counter to that, Sione Kotoa came off. No one said he was taking any scans. Next thing we know, he's gone for 5 months. So
yeah, calves don't keep you out for 5 months though, unless you're I can't remember. Was it Trell that was forever with a calf?
but yeah, just a player having an ice on the body part is fucking not not a massive fucking concern for me.
Yep. Oh, all right. I suppose we better move to this last game and then get into the real teams. So we had the Cowboys actually look pretty decent. 36 points, 24 over the Storm. Harry Grant went to the bin, which was kind of funny. Looks like he's fine for round 1, though. Otherwise, that could have been a headache for any Grant owners like me. I mean, I didn't really change my opinions on pretty much anyone as a result of this game. Duffy's going to be great if he's there. Bateman's okay. Nana did a bit more work than I thought, but I mean, other than that, really, just
Nana switched to edges, which is quite interesting. I don't think it's going to make any. I don't think it makes him a screaming buy, but it's just an interesting change. The only thing is coming out of this game is that Purdue apparently has locked down the center spot for himself.
Has he like what? Who said that?
Foxtel. So not again the most reliable source, but where
do they have any quotes?
I'd need to go check the article.
If there's no quotes, it means whoever wrote it made it up. No, that's
I know there's a guy who fucking hates Foxtel.
It's like the ice on calf, and it's like the confirmed injury reports expected back round 3 because calves take this long. It's like, no. Anyway. Yeah, well, if Purgie's there, I'll take him probably. Actually, how many halves and centre basement guys do you think it's fine to take? Because I was having this argument with other people. We're going to end up with like 6 at this point, and that's going to really push our team depth.
Well, let me quickly see how many I've got.
My mind is on centers is quite steadfast. It's 3 specialist basement centers, 2 in the team, 1 in cover, and if they have a GPP, you can as a winger, as a wing fullback.
I've got
You don't want too many cashy centers because if you start losing players when some teams go on bye or injuries, you don't want to be playing a fucking cashy center in your emergency as well as in your center positions.
I've got that, but in reverse. So I've got 1 in my starting team and 2 in my emergencies. So still 3 total. For that's just for centers, obviously. And then for halves, at the moment I have 3, but Cole is not fully locked in. I'm still trying to establish how long I think he'll have a spot for.
Who, sorry?
Cole.
Ah, yes.
So I'm not 100% sure that it's his spot yet. So he may or may not end up on my team.
I think you kind of just have to run the gauntlet with Cole, to be honest.
Cole replaced McLean in my team when those team lists came out, but that's about it.
I mean, obviously it was without Cleary, but he averaged 44 in the halves last year. I'm not saying he's going to average 44. I don't think that, but that shows that well, if that's an average for someone that's 250k, fucking, you don't want to miss risking running out on it. It seems like he should be good for 35. I was looking at his stats as well, and it's not like he'll include heaps of kick meters or anything. He makes a lot of tackles, like Dylan Brown styles.
Nice. That's good stuff. Yeah, but I mean, all 3 of them could be 20 points of value. We just got to fit them if they all work out.
Yeah, we just have to. It just comes down to how long you think these people are going to have jobs. Stafford, I think, is pretty safe. Purdue, I think, is pretty sketchy with old Gaybert. Sam Smith's sweet in the halves. Cole's a bit sketchy, but could be worth it. Duffy, I think, is definitely worth it. Toya, I think, is definitely worth it. Those would be the main ones, right? Is there anyone I'm forgetting here?
Tamale's sort of semi-sketchy, but also Hopper played centre, so he looks slightly less sketchy, but still sort of sketchy. Yeah,
that's an extra 50k though.
Oh yeah, I think just probably like buy the safe ones and make sure you got 1 or 2 Vegas ones in there, just so you don't have to take too many, or you're not going to run out if they don't work out in TLT for some silly reason. That's about it. All right.
Just before we move on from preseason challenge, I just want to take a moment for us to rejoice here. If you look at the preseason challenge ladder, the bottom 3 are Roosters, Storm, and Rabbitohs, and I think whenever that happens, it's got to be a good day.
Well, that's because the Storm don't give a fuck about preseason challenge.
I don't give a shit. They lost games. It makes me happy. We take the small wins here.
Storm never do. Look, I don't even fucking. Bellamy's probably on the fence on game day, fucking whether he is even going to bother fucking turning up to the ground or if he just gets one of the assistants to do it for him.
I think he wasn't at the ground in at least the last one, but I don't know. Anyway,
probably fucking drinking piss up in the box.
Actually, just on the Storm, did you guys see that apparently Fa'alongo is now also in doubt for round 1?
Oh, so we're going to get Wishart just running around again because that bloke can do everything.
Man, I don't know. Yeah. They'll play Meany at fullback. I don't fucking know. It's going to be.
I reckon it'll be Wishart.
It probably would. Oh, maybe they just put money back there on Wishart at 6. Like,
nah, not anymore. I think Munsters just stays 5'8".
They'll just put Wishart straight in there. He'll do a job. They'll be very confident he'll do a job.
Wishart's a good player. He's had a real fucking standout year last year.
He's so good. But yeah.
Still hate him for playing for the Storm, but you know.
Yeah.
Brilliant utility.
Oh, I love the bloke. He would be like a really good. You could sign him anywhere in the spine, and you'd be very happy about it.
Yeah, he's just as versatile as Kurt Mann, but fucking far more exciting.
Pretty much. All right, we finally get onto real team lists. Not all of them, not
Yeesh.
everything, but we get 4 teams. We got our Raiders and
Bit of a
Warriors
tease,
to
isn't it?
kick
Bit of
things
a
off.
tease.
Oh, I want more. Like, it's already thrown up some carnage. Ricky's given us some curveballs. So we've got Hosking at edge like we thought, but there's no Matty Nicholson in sight. I don't know what's going on there. And we've got Simi Sasagi on the bench instead, and Owen Paddy in the 14. Does that change any minutes for Tom Starling, or just change where we see the minutes distribution going through the middle and for Hosking and stuff? Is that going to push a Horse into relevancy? How's that going to work? Or
It doesn't change shit for Starling. It just fucking there's a different face on the bench. Fucking that's all that is. Instead of Levi, it's that guy. Horse, yeah, I think Horse is a decent buy. I think he'll play somewhere between 45 to 50 minutes. It's probably somewhere in that 46 to 48-minute range, really, and he'll go close to a point a minute. He's got a bit of value there. What's he priced at, like 40, 41?
40-ish, yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a safe 5 points value at least. Possibly a little bit more. Maybe more, 8.
Yeah, I like Fish better with the Warriors bench with Vaimalga
Same.
and Halasima. That just pushes Horse above him, not Horse above him. That pushes Fish above Horse. The battle of the animal names, and yeah, I mean, I'm very happy to project him for 55 minutes now, or 60 minutes even, in low 50s. That makes me real happy for him.
Yeah, I got Fish at 58 minutes.
There we go. Yeah,
I just don't see why. Like, AFB was playing over 60, and you can't tell me that fucking Fish isn't as capable of playing as big minutes as AFB. Fish is definitely fitter than AFB. Definitely. I think he's made for big minutes. I think Penrith just didn't use him that way, didn't need to, and just didn't. And I think the Warriors do need him to, and I think they fucking will.
So just to jump back to the Raiders team, I just want to say I agree with JFH is a really good buy this year. I'd definitely get him over Horse. But just to go back to the Raiders team, who on their bench is playing lock? So Smithies is going to play, 50, 60 minutes of lock. Is it that Horse rotates to comes off during the middle of the game and comes
probably
back
just
on?
Mariota.
Is it Mariota?
I think
historically he's played most of the game at prop, isn't it?
I think Mariota can play some lock. I still don't know how that's going to thrash out. I was thinking it'd be Nicholson taking like 15 or 20 at lock and like 10 or 15 at edge, but now I'm just not really sure. One of them I think is going to benefit a little bit, but I don't know which one, and I don't know if it's enough.
Nicholson's going to turn up sooner or later.
Yeah.
I just on Hosking, like I am one of the biggest Hosking stands there is. I don't think he's a buy. I think with the concern is that Sasasagi, whatever the hell his name is, can play edge. I like Hosking needs that 70 to 80 minutes really. I don't think
every edge does.
Yeah, I don't think he's a buy at the price that he's at. Yeah, I think it's a shame. I love Hosking.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk anyone out of buying him, but I don't think he's going to make his way into my team.
I don't think you're going to lose money with Hosking, I think is a way of putting it. I think if you
you won't. No way.
If you want to run the gamble that he's going to somehow get 80 minutes, fucking good on you. I think you're good. You know, it's worth it. You're not going to make a loss here. If he plays 80 minutes first round,
5 points.
You reckon you'll get 5 points?
Probably, but the people that are buying him are hoping for 10, and it's not going to happen. I don't think.
You're saying that if he gets 80 minutes, are you like finding a way to bring him in round 2?
Well, him getting 80 minutes in one round doesn't necessarily mean he gets it the following round. I think sometimes he'll get 80 and sometimes he won't. And assuming because he played 80 in round 1 that he's always going to be 80 is a dumb assumption to make.
No, that's fair.
I think either get on him or just forget about him.
I'm going to leave him.
Second round.
Just for clarity's sake, if you his history, if he averages over 50 minutes and below 70 minutes, he averages 43.7. He's priced at 43.
I think he'll do
So-
better than that.
Yeah, he's got some low scores in here from 2023. But I don't think you can just shift it down to 2024 because 2024 was a phenomenal season for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like Preston. He scores probably about 50 and 70 minutes if he gets 70 minutes, and if he doesn't get 70 minutes, it's not enough. And pretty much end of story.
I reckon he'll probably get like 48 or some shit.
Yeah, me too. What else we got? Is Metcalf going to get a big kicking split with CHT instead of TMM? I'm still buying him, but do we?
People are really overrating CHT's kicking game. Fucking back when he was running around the halves of the Warriors, one of my biggest gripes with him was his shitty kicking game. And Metcalf just busted out fucking back-to-back 40-20s. Like, you'll never fucking see CHT do that.
Did you see him doing it? I can't remember who he was doing an interview with, but he was saying, "I've got to try and." I keep joking. I don't know enough history. There's a bloke that owns the record for most 40-20s in a game, and he keeps joking, "Oh, I'm going to try and beat it one day." But yeah, he says he'll never do it. But it's really nice to see him doing it all the time.
Oh, I think Metcalf's a great buy.
Yeah, I Metcalf will get at minimum 60% of the kicking, if not more.
Yep. Buy him, add him to the plethora of halves, and forget about it until he makes his money.
There's no like Warriors fullback that's like chipping in with like 130 meters kicking in a game like there is in some teams either.
No. Walsh is doing that at Brisbane now, and C&K doesn't even kick when he's at 5'8".
No.
Walshy's not going to be kicking much this year with.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, we'll go down.
Just to jump in there real quick.
Is either Reynolds or Ben Hunt left-footed by chance? I can't remember. Reynolds is definitely right. I can't remember about Hunt.
I couldn't tell you, mate.
No.
Either way, those two are going to want to gobble up all the kicks between them anyway.
Yep. Alrighty, so on to this second game of the tease round, and we have the cooked arrangement that Alamotti's in the wing, Garner's at centre.
I don't even think we did projections for our boy in the halves there at the Warriors. I think we sort of got sidetracked there. What do you guys think that Metcalf's going to average?
I reckon he gets about 40, 43.
Yeah, I was thinking 44. Yeah.
I've got mid-40s, 44 or 45. That's what I'm.
Go.
Okay, so
13 points of value, take it home. Yeah. Let's go.
Well, there's 6 points, like 6 points or so value just in goal kicking alone, and then there's probably another 4 points in kick meters. That's not being overly generous or anything. So yeah, I can't see why he can't do that, right?
He'll be the main attacking weapon for them as well. Like, it's not like CHT's creating opportunities left, right, and centre.
Nah. CHT doesn't
by far the better player. Like, I think mid 45s is a very fair projection for someone who essentially has to run the team by himself.
Yeah. Yeah, lock him in.
Moving on to the second game, though, now, the news was sort of leaking out that there might be Alamotti wing Garner centre. I'm like, nah, I don't believe that. That's stupid. And we've got it. And Jesse McLean's not there. He's in reserves. So that's him dead as an option, right? Even if they switch it later, I'm not going to be confident.
Nah, fuck him. He's gone.
I don't know, mate. I'm hearing some mail coming out of the Panthers closet. They've accidentally named the wrong brother. They just got confused.
Don't make shit. Fuck up. Fuck up.
Yeah.
No, Jesse's dead, mate. I think it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I think there's plenty of other centre options you can just slot in instead. It was about the same price.
It'll be interesting to see how many dead teams there are because Jesse McLean has 21.6% ownership, and that should go down to 0, but it will not.
Yeah, it'll keep going down and before kickoff, but it won't. There's always heaps of dead teams. Like sometimes it says like there's like 160,000 teams. There's fucking not. Like
they're all like there's probably 40,000 and
that stick out the season.
10,000 really serious ones.
Yep. Oh, I think there's more serious than there used to be. There might be
Yeah,
20,000
probably.
or so guys that will be serious. So 10,000 of them probably. So,
Yeah.
and
Nice,
I
nice.
reckon most of the teams are fucking within a couple of rounds of ghost teams. And like people make all sorts of fucking silly teams. Like you see people in fucking chat groups and like, oh, this is the team of just the hottest guys. Oh, this is the team of just guys from Vegas. Oh, fucking this is a team of just white guys. This is a team of just brown guys. All those sort of random teams, and they don't get carried through the whole season. They
Yeah.
just get abandoned.
Your podcast has made a few of those ones, haven't you?
Well, that's where the white and brown ones came from. I think
Dude.
Boxy and Hundybag actually kept that going for quite a long time. I'm not sure who won in the end. But
That's good.
terrible.
it was it was a brown fella that was running the brown team, so it wasn't racist. It's all good.
All good.
It's been
Good to
cleared,
pick your fellow brother, man.
cleared through the court. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the Iwi's on board. The Iwi's on board.
Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Jake, so Jack Cole touched on lock him in, run the gauntlets. Everyone else will have him. Just don't overthink it. I think it's a simple rule for Jack Cole, at least in my opinion. I know you would.
But do keep an eye out for any fucking mail we can get around that security. But knowing what Penrith's like, they'll be fuck all because they run a fucking tight ship when it comes to information like that. Fucking wankers.
Yeah, well, IPAP bench, that was the only one we even had half an inkling on. And yeah, well, can't buy him now. Hopefully he drops to like something like 450k. I don't think he will that low, but maybe drops a bit and then comes in. Maybe they don't see him as their edge.
Yeah, all that sort of shit we'll worry about later. We got enough fucking to worry about for round one.
Yep. We talked about Hines in the halves podcast. Trindle's there, Hines is there. The rest of the Sharks team, the only difference really, and the only relevance. Well, Stone Street's not even relevant because he had 1.6 tries a game last year and he's wrecked his price already.
Yeah, no, don't buy him. Like, I think I asked in chat just quickly what people's thoughts were, and I got told to go fuck myself immediately. So I think that's really quite indicative of what to do with when you're considering Stone Street. He's already.
Did you take that advice?
I did actually. I filmed it as well. I'll post it online later.
Oh, sweet. We'll check that up on YouTube.
That's on the Echo Chambers OnlyFans accounts. Please sign up, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's not really any interest in all for me for Sharks guys at the moment. Like if Nicara, Wilson, I guess, but yeah. I'm not a Wilson owner.
Mighty
Wilson owners can do that.
Eddie, come on, you've been on and off Wilson a little bit this preseason. Surely you have some talking points about Wilson.
Yeah, I think he's decent, but he's not on my team. I think he's probably going to sort of average about 49 or so. So again, one of those ones where it's sort of like 5 points value, but then it's not not quite keeper level. So I don't have him, but I wouldn't talk anyone out of him. He's actually my profile picture on Fantasy and Discord.
Yeah.
I call him C.
Yeah, that's how I view Horse, to be honest. One of those 6 point value guys who's just not quite going to be somebody you want to have forever, so I don't want to bother.
Yeah, Horse has also got, or if he makes Origin, that'll be a pain for him as well.
Yeah, the other thing I'd mention about the Sharks, Atkinson 14, his money's going to drop. At some point this year, Nick is going to go down injured, or Trindle's going to smoke more, snort more fucking coke and get suspended. So Atkinson will be a buy at some point this year.
Well, as long as Trindle doesn't get behind the fucking wheel, after he does the coke, it'll be all good.
How cooked is that situation there? But anyway, it is what it is now, and they've got two halfbacks. At least
he didn't hit someone like Man, so
Lenio was right all along.
That's
fuck me. That's
hey, how funny is that?
That's a 2-week suspension right there.
So not allowed back in the pod now.
Hey, come on! It is quite ironic that he lived up to the stereotypes that go along with that.
Oh my!
It is a bit sad, but yeah. Yeah, I think we've exhausted these Vegas teams. They've given us something, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Who's everyone tips for the weekend?
Now that Cleary's playing, it's confirmed because there's like two whispers. I'm going to go Panthers and yeah, Panthers Raiders.
I got to go Panthers was. That is a bit one-eyed of me, though. I am aware of that.
Well, I'm doing the exact same. I'm going Sharks, and I do think Raiders will beat Waz here. But I think everyone's still sleeping on Raiders this year. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
I think they're going to be good. One thing I will touch on before we finish, though, wanted to bring up the very end. We've been talking up guys like Garrick and guys like Preston because they're going to be available through Origin throughout the year. Now, I realised something last night that I'd kind of forgot for half the preseason, and that is because we have all these silly only playing 13 in the minor buys, you can hold a lot more Origin players year long. I think the last 2 years, I've only had one guy that's lasted the whole year. 23, it was Grant. 24, it was Preston. Not Preston, Curaz. I think you can go for like 4 or 5 of those this year and end up with like 3 that actually work out. I think you can actually afford to spend less trades and like hold a Harry Grant who only misses one extra game because of Origin, or like a Haas who's also in that sort of bracket. The teams that you got to avoid for that are actually the guys the opposite to what you want for the non-Origin, of course. So don't go holding Watson. He's going to miss like 6 games in 8 weeks. But do think about like your Broncos, your Storm guys, and a couple of the others who are only missing that one extra game in Origin because they could be actually really handy to hold with those only 13 in the minor buys because they'll be back for those.
Absolutely. It's annoying that Watson, if he makes Origin, gets absolutely fucked and can't be out.
Yeah.
That's what put me off Crichton as well. But yeah, those ones that have their buys fall on the Origin rounds. Yeah, I think you're right. It is quite easy to hold more of that. Certainly more of them in the last couple of years, anyway. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, they're all good ones too. Like, actually, let me just rattle off the list to finish off. So, the good Origin players to hold that have 2 buys during the major buys and use them up during Origin. You've got Grant Munster from Storm, Carrigan Walsh Haas from Broncos, Cleary, Yo, maybe Edwards. So, all 3 of Bronx, Panthers, Storm, really good. Barnett, but probably Origin. Terrell May, if he makes Origin, I mean, he's still anyway, Hopgood, Moses, those types, but especially just the first guys I mentioned. I'm actually not opposed to taking all 3 of Grant, Haas, Cleary now because I can probably hold at least 2 of them all year if they don't break.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I like Grant. I just the way my team's done. If I get Grant, it makes it hard for me to have enough fucking forwards. But I think he is actually a good buy. And that is sort of like the trifecta that I've liked to go with in the past is those 3.
Well, the other thing I mentioned just on Grant, I think every one of us will be on Grant if come the second half of round 1 we see a bench hooker for the Roosters. I think that's
I'll probably still do it.
I'm off Watson if he's not getting 70 to 80 minutes.
He might still get 70 anyway. He can run around in the middle a little bit.
I think this gets a little more sketchy, and I think
it is more sketchy for sure, but I'll still probably do it. Mostly because I do really need that mid DPP. I need it. Fucking
I don't
need it.
understand why. I have like 5 or 6 mids. What are you doing?
Because I fucking don't like all those gay fucking mid ranges that you like.
What Seyfarth? You don't like Seyfarth?
Nah, he's the one. Him and Watson are the only forwards I have fucking on my reserves. Just those 2. So if I took Watson out, then it would just be Seyfarth.
Yeah, so that's fair. I have that situation, but I also have White.
Yeah, who's DPP, and
Yeah.
so that,
No, I get it.
that's the difference.
Yeah, I get that.
I
Okay.
just don't like any of those cheap cunts apart from Seyfarth.
No, don't go buy Royce Hunt. Not when there's this many options. Just don't do
No,
it.
he sucks.
Yeah, he
I
sucks.
guarantee
The end.
he's going to get 25 to 30 minutes, and that'll be him.
Yeah, there's no basement mids this year, which is a bit disappointing. Hopefully one
Hunt
comes
won't
up.
even get 2 stints.
I love Hunt, but yeah, he doesn't have the motor at all. He's short impact. Anyway.
Yep. All right. Thank you, lads, for jumping on. Pretty
Just
good
one more
pod
thing.
today. I'm keen to finally have teams, but yeah. Finally,
think
footy's
we-
back of some sort.
Maybe promote the Echo Chamber Fantasy League for one time. I think we've missed it every year.
Considering kicks off shortly.
In the description, we'll chuck a link to
No.
that chat.
Let's
Got about
fucking say
300
it.
in there.
Let's say it right now as well. Hold on. So where are we?
I've got it here. It's 6-2 E for Echo, K H D E V. That was 6-2 E K H D E V.
You sound like you're reading a phone number on an advert or something.
Why do Australians say H? It's weird. Like it's real common in Australia, and then I'm not aware of any other country in the world saying it that way. H.
Don't know. H for Hosking. That's the question I'll be watching this week. Yeah. All right. Have a good one, lads.
Yeah, right.
Keen to
Cheer
see
the
how this
fucking
weekend
boys.
goes.